So in my last session, I have discussed the topic how to install Testng, how to create one project, how to add Testng library. Say that last time I was using this project Testng demo, fine. So I have designed one Java project. Trying to recall you, like I have added test in. First I have installed Testng via help, install new software, and after installing Testng, restart your Eclipse. Then after that, you can see that whether your Testng has been installed. So once Testng had been installed, you can simply add Testng library, and after that you can start writing your Testng scripts. So in my last session, I have designed couple of test cases with the help of at the rate test annotation. So Testng is based on different annotations there. So you can have a look, like these are the Testng annotations, and simply if you want a look, what you can do, suppose that you have designed one simple. So this is already Maven project. I'm trying for normal project. But anyhow, I will discuss those things later. So you learned last time how to design your Testng class, how can you can use Testng methods, the simple methods which you have used in earlier sessions, how to design method, you just added at the rate test annotations. So first I will try to give you a look like what are the annotations present in Testng. So if you will go to some any Google site, and you will try to find like a list of all the annotations in Testng. Basically, Testng is a third-party tool. You can add, and like it is giving a kind of design pattern. There is no separate thing which is you are going to learn from Selenium, but you can design your test cases. This is the designing concept. Like you can design your framework. So maybe as of now, some of guys are thinking, oh, what is a framework? So framework is nothing like a code which you have written, and that code can be reused. Fine. So reusable methods you have to design, and basically reusable classes, reusable methods you have to design in your framework, and simply for like reporting and other things you have to design. So Testng is going to support all such things. So I'm clicking on this site like Testng annotations. Basically, when Testng was not present, so JUnit was there. JUnit basically by default is there, that is Java unit. And since Testng was supporting advanced kind of reporting and other features which JUnit was not supporting, so that's why like Testng supersede JUnit. Nowadays, basically people are using Testng, but if you are not having Testng, you could use JUnit annotations as well. So JUnit annotations are basically like list priority as compared to Testng. Testng has some advanced annotations like parallelism, reporting, all such things are there. So you could have a look the list of annotations. Basically there are 15 annotations. So before should, after should, fine. Before class, after class, before test, after test. So you will come to know about these annotations as per the requirement. I will try to explain these things. One is like before groups, after groups. One is like before method, after method. One is data provider annotation. One is like factory annotation. One is like listener annotations, and one is like parameters annotations, and one is like test annotations. So as of now, you can say that you have only gone through at the rate test annotations, fine. And as per the requirement, I will be covering other annotations as well. So
Rajiv, excuse
yes,
me.
yes.
Rajiv, one doubt. Could you tell me the difference between JUnit and this one, Testng and Maven?
Maven is different thing, but you can have a look just of that. Like Maven is the project management and build management. Fine. So in
Okay,
Maven you can use either JUnit or Testng for designing your test cases. Fine.
okay,
And you
okay,
can differentiate between JUnit and Testng. So there are like basic list. So Testng has advanced annotations and reporting feature which JUnit was not having. So you can simply like Google it
okay,
out, like a list of differences between difference between JUnit and Testng. So this is also like basic interview question. In interview, they are going to ask you. So if you have used test engine, like then what is the difference you found between JUnit and test engine? So if you know, you can differentiate. But like due to advanced reporting and advanced parallelism and advanced some annotations feature, like we are using test engine. So additional features you can see which were not present in Testng. So like test that you code is multi-thread step. So one is this feature, like data provider annotation is there, parameter is there. So after that you could see like yeah, you can compare these things, fine. And this is a comparison chart, and after that you can get a comparison in Catel. Like annotations both are supporting, execution both are supporting, ignoring both are supporting, timeout is also with testng and JUnit. Shoots designing both are supporting, grouping testng is supporting, JUnit is not supporting. Fine. Parameterize, both are supporting. Parameterization objects, this one is not supporting, this one is supporting. So it is supporting only parameterization with primitive data type, and it is supporting with parameterized data type, and like dependency. So dependency it is supporting. And I think parallelism is basically being supported into TestNG and advanced reporting. So these are like, you could Google it out, like there are many differences you can find.
okay, okay, fine. Thank you.
Fine. So this is also like interview question. That's a good thing. Like you come to know like what are the differences between TestNG and JUnit, but they are not going to ask what is the difference between JUnit, sorry, TestNG and Maven. So Maven is a completely different thing.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
So I was like discussing about at the rate test annotations. We have gone through that, fine. And so these were like basic list of annotations, and one by one I will try to cover all the annotations as per our requirement. So as of now I will tell you like before suit leave it, after suit leave it, before class you can consider, before test leave it because it's like when you are designing your test suits, so that time like test is coming into the picture. But as of now you can use before class, after class, before groups, after groups, before method, after method, and you could use data provider. Fine. So factory is also advanced feature, listener is also advanced feature, parameters is also advanced feature, but at the rate test you have to learn in first session. So after that in the advanced session, when I will be taking advanced session, I will be covering those other annotations. Fine. So these were the like basic list of annotations, and let me come to my test case. I will design one more test case. Sorry, let me copy and paste. That would be fine. Copy and paste. Automatically name will be 4. I am taking the name as 4 and let me open the fourth. And let me close this one. So what will happen? I'll try to design more tests. These things I have already discussed, like invocation count, thread put size, timeout, all such things I have discussed. Now today I will try to discuss more. You can remove the parenthesis if it is not required. Fine. And no need of while. With a simple test class, the class name is demo testng4 and I have only one test case. So this is called test case, whatever the methods, but it is like the main method is optional. You can also have the main method if you want. Fine, but as of now we don't need, so I'm not putting it. Now what I will do, I will try to demonstrate the use of before class. Fine. What I will do, I will just copy one method and I will try to demonstrate. So you will get some kind of a red symbol. So you have to use Testng, not JUnit. Look, when you will mouse over, you will get both options because by default Testng is there because that's the part of Java. So when you are using Java library, JUnit is always there, but you have to use Testng. So I am using here before class of Testng annotations. So after adding, you can see over here my Testng before class annotations is being added. Fine. So now I'm coming to this part. Like let me give the name of method. Like I'm giving any name. You can give any name, no problem. Before class demo. Fine, guys. And I will also change the message so that you can differentiate. We are in before class. Fine. And I will copy this code and what I will do, I will paste here and I will use someone mic is on. The sound is being your code. Now it's fine. So I will use here after class. I used before class, now I will use after class. Again I will get red symbol. What I will have to do, I will have to import Testng annotations. And I will change the method name. As per my requirement, I can give any name. After class demo, I have given. And also for your ease, I am changing the name. So what will happen when you will execute this? When you will execute this, so what will happen? First, it will load the class. Then, before going to the first test case, it will look for any before class annotation. So this will execute first and after that it will look for any test case. So it's found that one test case is here, fine. So it will execute this one and after that it will execute this one. So this is the like order of execution, and if you will execute you will come to know about these things. So you could see here thread ID I am getting 1 for all because it's a sequential execution. When sequential execution is there, so thread count always starts from 1. When it is parallel execution, the thread count starts from 9. You have noticed these things in last session. So when like there is parallel execution, the thread count ID always starts from 9, but when there is sequential execution, it always starts from 1. So I'm getting like thread count because first time it is coming here and it is printing as we are in before class, and after that it is coming to no matter in what order you have written, but it will pick on the basis of annotation. So first it has printed this one, and after that
Rajiv,
it has printed test, and after that it has printed after class. Yes, who is this?
Rajiv, what is the purpose of using thread here?
I'm just using the purpose like if you want to execute it into parallel, so that can you can like design it for thread. As of now, I don't need that, but if you want, you can use it on the parallel. Say that. Let me give recall you thread. You recall?
Rajiv. Yes, Rajiv.
I'm getting error. So let me change to invocation count. It is saying like that. Thread put slash. So writing pattern is this, and here you don't need because I'm not using this in parallel. But if you want, you can design your test case in this fashion. I've just copied this code, no? So that's why it is coming like that. So if you will execute, what will happen? It will run this first, and after that 10 times this would be executed, and after that one time this. You can see here what happened. You can see the output and analyze that what is happening in the background. Clear? Fine guys. So I hope it is clear to you. So I have explained the concept of before class, and suppose that you are having multiple methods as well. Let me design multiple methods so that you can get the concept of before class in very good manner. I am giving here name, only changing one, and I am removing this code. Let me take this, no problem. I am putting here hello 1. Now let me execute. You can see here output. See from the top so that you can analyze what is happening. We are in before class, so first time it is being executed, and after that like parallel execution happens for this, then after that parallel execution happens for this, and like IDs always starts from 9 in the case of parallel execution. So 9 to 19, 9 to 18, right? So 9 to 18 it is being printed with the ID and text it is coming. I just wanted to give you some idea like if you are executing in parallel, so that's why I've used this at thread dot current thread dot get ID. So that's why it is getting, because maybe in interview they will be asking how to get the current ID of the current thread. So this is the method via which you can get the ID. So I hope you are cleared with like before class and after class. Fine. So what I will do, I will remove this concept. Let me remove it. Let me remove it. If I will execute this one, you can see the output this time. it is being only executed only one time because I have removed that code, parallel execution and thread pull, other things I have removed. So first time it is the before class is executed only once, fine, and after class is executed only once when the class is being closed, and when the class is being loaded, so that time before class would be loaded, fine. So these are the codes which what you can do, you can design your test cases in such a way that suppose that when you are going to execute something written inside the class, so that time the only one time applicable code should be kept into the before class part, fine. Say that you want to load your browser, you want to design your like browser for particular driver, so you can design those things, you can design or you can start your browser, and after that once the browser is being launched, so opening URL and other operations you can design in your test cases. Say that login, say that log out, say that closing the browser, say that actions on the home page, verification of the title. You can design different methods into your different test cases. But the only one time operation is like launching the browser, log out, closing the browser. So those code you can write in before class and after class. Fine. So this is the designing concept. Test engine, you are going to learn the design pattern, like how you are going to design your test cases for the automation, how you are going to design your framework. So those things we will be covering. It's not a very simple thing. Test engine is a very good design pattern concept, and it generally takes time to learn designing your framework as well. So you can write those things into such fashion. So these are the annotations which you will be using for designing your test shoots, and you can say test cases, test shoots. Fine. So we will be covering more annotations. What will be we will do? We will try to learn more. Fine. So I have already told, like before class, after class, we have seen what we can do. We can use before method and after method. So this is the very good concept. What is happening is generally before method executed every time when you it find a at the rate test annotation. So it executes, yeah, it automatically triggered every time when it is going to found your at the rate test annotation. And after method, like when your test case is successfully or unsuccessfully being completed, so at that time after method will automatically be triggered. Say that someone told you if your test case has been failed, then perform such operations like capturing the screenshot, fine. So those things you can write those codes into after method, fine guys. So I will be like designing these things at the rate before method and at the rate after method. Let me copy and paste first. Java is highly case sensitive, so you have to like take care of such things. So that's why I'm like copying and pasting it. And what I will do, I will design one method. I'm just copying and paste. You can write in any fashion. So this gives you ease. Like you can design your test cases top, bottom, anywhere you can write any fashion. No order maintenance is required. So it's just like give you the facility. So in this way you can design your test cases. And you just need to change the name of your method. Like suppose that I'm giving here test before method, copying it and pasting here. I'm giving the name after method, and I'm getting red symbol. So you could see Because here J unit is not coming, it means this method or this annotation was not present in J unit. So you could make a difference, like in interview if they will be asking what is the difference between J unit and test engine. So at that time you can tell, oh, this annotation was present or not present. It means before class was present but before method was not present in J unit. You can import it simply. You can also import it because it is coming from Testng annotations. So I have imported it. Fine. If it is not required, I can remove these annotations. Some of the annotations not, some of the like import statement not required. So I have removed that. Now my design pattern has been complete and I will change the code. What I'll do, I will change the code via this. Fine. Test. So this I am going to use for demo purpose, but when the real implementation will come now, you will have to write your real time code at the time of designing your test cases. So just you need to learn like what code you will be putting into that. So I am going to write here just demo purpose before method after method. Fine. So if someone will ask you, so what would be the order of execution? So it's very simple. First time before class would be there, then after class would be there, then it will look for @test annotation. So @test annotation found once, so it will not execute this, and if it is found, then it looks for any before method. When @test annotation is found, it looks for @before method. So it will trigger this one line of code, and after that this line of code would be executed, and after that it will look for any after method. Fine. So after method will be triggered automatically. But in this case, I have written only once, before method only once, after method only once. But since you have two test cases, so like before method would be executed twice, after method would be executed twice, and after that at the closing your @class annotation will be executed. So this would be the order of expected execution. Let's see the result and analyze. Fine. Let me execute this and you will come to know like what is the order of execution. So you can see and compare. So what is the order of execution? So before class first, then after that what happened, it looks for @test. So it's found @test, but when @test annotation is found, it is looking for any before method. So that time it is going to execute this line of code. Then after that it executed @test. Then again it executed after method. Then again it looks for any @test annotation. So in this time it is going to execute this one. Then after that after method. So in this fashion it is going to execute. So you can have a look and get some gist of that. You can have an idea of that. Fine. So if you have any doubt till here, you can ask. So let me explain you. Otherwise, I can proceed further. Any doubt, guys? No doubt. So that, sorry.
It's clear, Rajiv.
So what will happen? Let me ask one time. Like what will happen if I will copy this @test? So in interview they will be asking you like that. Say that my method name is pqr3 and I am writing here. Say that something like 3. Fine. So I've changed the inside code and method name as well. And what will happen? Here you have 3 @test annotation. So before method would be called 3 times. Fine. And after method would be called 3 times. Fine. But before class would be called only once and after class would be called only once. Fine. So you have here 3 test. Let me execute this so that you can have some idea of that. Fine. You can see here, like first time it is going to execute test. So this is class. So starting of class and ending of class. It's similar like HTML tags. Fine. So if you are opening the tags, you have to close the tags. So after that, before method, after method, inside @test. So again before method, after method, inside test. So before method, after method, inside test. So you have three tests. So it's executed three times. So this is the order of execution. And like if you have gone through that, so let me explain some more topics. So there is one clause. If you don't want to execute any particular test case, say that someone told you, oh, you have three test cases, right? So you don't want to execute any particular test case. So how you are going to do that? Fine. How you are going to do that? So at that case, you can enable or disable your test cases. So it's in Testng, there is one feature you can enable or disable your test cases. So one is trick is that you have to simply comment it out. I have commented this line of code, and if I will execute, so at that time you can see only two test case has been executed, PQR1 and PQR3. Fine. Just have a look. You can see the result here, and you can also see the result over here. And other things you can also analyze in your test case. One trick is that. And if someone told you, no, I don't want in this way, I want something else. So how you are going to do that? So there is one clause like enabled is equal to true. So this is like clause, it means it is on, and like let me run this time all will run. So you can see here all three have run, but if you are putting enable is equal to false, so what will happen? See the result and analyze. So PQR has run and PQR3 has run, but PQR1 has not run. Why it is like that? You can also analyze like test run is 2, failures 0, escapes 2. So like these are the order of execution in which you can control your test cases. Fine. So this is like enabled and disabled your test cases. So for test you have gone through priority. For test you have gone through like by default natural sorting order execution like alphabetical. You have got that concept. You have gone the concept of priority. You have gone the concept of enabled or disabled or like enabling or disabling your test cases. Say that in someone like asking you in the interview, oh, out of 10 test case, I don't want to execute 2 test case. So how you are going to do that? So simply you will put this statement enabled is equal to false. So if you will put this statement enabled is equal to false, so those test cases would not be executed. But by default enabled is equal to true is always there. If you are not using that. Let me do one thing. I have marked all the test case as false. So what will happen? Let me run this. You can also have some idea. Like test run is equal to 0, failures is equal to 0, escapes is equal to 0. And you will see the output, nothing is there. Even before class and after class has not executed, before method, after method, nothing has executed. It means everything depends upon your test. So you should have at least one @test annotation to make your test cases should be like all the things should be active. Without @test annotation, you cannot execute anything in your, or you can do one thing like let me just cut it, fine. Say that I have removed, and if I am trying to run it, right click, run as testng test. So you can see the output. You can see the output. Console is blank. We remove this. Sorry. Console is blank. Testng reporting feature is also blank. So these are the concept, like tricky concept, which interviewer is going to ask you. Fine. So what will happen if there is no @test annotation? So nothing will happen. Simply say that nothing will happen. You can also like Google it out, or you can also like practice at your home. So these are the things. And let me design one more thing. Like I'm going to make you the concept of dependency. So dependency is another factor which you need to learn. That in interview they are going to ask that suppose that you want to maintain dependency in your test cases. Like if your first test case has been executed, then only you want to make your second test should be executed. So how you are going to make that dependency? So in Testng, we have two kind of dependency. One is method dependency, one is group dependency. So first we will have a concept of method dependency. In the next coming sessions, we will have the concept of group dependency. Fine. So today we are going to have the concept of method dependency. So like let me make it enabled, should be by default it is true. So let me give like true. So that is fine. TRUE. So if there is a spacing, no problem, don't worry for that. It doesn't mean like just you have to put this annotation. This like a design pattern. You can say Testng is a kind of design pattern. You give it some kind of facility to design your entire framework. Fine. And what I will do, I will simply use the concept of dependency. Let me remove that. And let me give the name like PQR1 so that you can have some better idea. PQR2, PQR3. It means I have designed in such way that by default natural order of sorting is, if I am not using priority, so it depends upon 1, 2, 3 pattern. Fine. So this time, like my first test case would be executed this one, then this one, then this one. You know this, fine. Like hello, hello 1, hello 2. Okay, let me give it hello 1, hello 2. I will use here depends on. Depends on method is equal to method name. I am giving deadlines, so simply like mouse over and click here. So what you want to do? You want to make change on methods or depend upon groups. So I am using here depend on methods. Fine. And like it is saying that you have to use it in parentheses. So in this case, what will happen? First, it will execute this, but this is dependent on this. So if it is like on, so that only it will execute, otherwise it will not execute. Fine. And it will always execute. You can see as of now, we have all three in execution because the first was enabled is equal to true, and like depending on this, it was executing. So order of execution here is we have to analyze. Like first it is executing PQR1, then PQR. It should execute PQR2, but it is executing PQR3. Fine. So you will have to notice these things, because if you are using this clause, so this should come after all the by default priority. You have noticed this thing, right? So first it is executing hello 1, then it is executing hello 3. After that it is coming to this part, then it is looking for this one because it is having the dependency factor. If you are removing the dependency factor, then what is the order of execution? Just have a look, so that you can have a PQR1 is first, PQR2 is second, PQR3 is third. But if you are using like dependency factor, so at that time it is executing like this. Notice this thing. Fine. So if you are maintaining dependency, so dependency priority comes after no priority. Fine guys. So these are like basic tricky things which you will come to know when you will execute your test cases. And I am going to use like this depends on clause now here. Now I am changing the method name as PQR2. I am copying the name. It means I am designing my test case in such a way that first it will execute, then this will execute, then this will execute. Fine. This method is depending on this method is depending on this method, and this method is depending on this method. So I have designed in such way, if I will execute this, so see the output, it is running in the same fashion as per my expected, because first time PQR with no dependency, no priority will execute, and after that depends on methods clause like coming into the picture. So at that time it is speaking those things and it is executing. What will happen if I will make it false? What will happen if I will make it false? So let me run. I'm getting error. Why? It is saying like which is not annotated with @test or not included. So that's why like dependency is so should fine. Since it is the parent and depends upon this, so that's why it is coming as error. Let me cut it from here and let me run one more. You can see over here, and now what I will do, I will just put comma and put this clause here. So first this will execute, then this will execute, then this will. But since it is enabled is equal to false, and if I am like executing, so again I am getting error because so something mistake I am doing or something like that. It should not throw some kind of exception. It is throwing exception. Testng exception depending on methods public void, which is not being annotated at the rest or not included. Something I will have to check for that, but this is the fashion of execution. Fine. So and there is one clause always run. You can see over here, I'm using one clause like always run is equal to true. So what will happen? Oh, it is giving me error due to this one. I will have to check it, like how you are going to use enabled is equal to true or false. Okay. So there is one clause, guys. Fine. So suppose that if you are using always run is equal to true, it means even your test case, like yeah, some kind of exception is there, then also it will like run. Otherwise, because since it was having dependency on this one, so at that time it was not going to run. As of now, let me run it. Then after that, I will explain this scenario. As of now, you can see this is being executed. All threes are executed. What I'll do, I will generate some kind of error. Fine. So I will try to int x equal to 10 divided by 0. I will generate one exception. So after generating exception, my test case would be fail. So if my test case would be fail, so dependency on this is depends this one. Fine. So PQR2 is dependent on PQR1. But I have maintain such a way that if my test case would be passed, then only this is being called, then after this will be called. And let me run this. So you can see here, if you will go to console here, because I want to show you some interesting thing. Red line is not coming. It was some kind of exception in my test case 1, and exception name was arithmetic exception. So only one test has been executed, only one test case. But other test case were dependent on test case number 1. So what has happened? It is saying test run is equal to 3, out of which failure is 1 and escapes are 2. What is happening? Out of 3, failures is 1. Since your one test case has been failed, so other 2 are being executed. And which are skipped? Other 2s are skipped, and which are skipped? PRQ3, PQR3 and PQR2. And if you will come to that test engine, you can see like yellow symbol is coming. It means it is being skipped. It is being skipped. So why it is being skipped? Because there was a kind of dependency. There was a kind of dependency. So if you want that even your dependent test case is filled and you want to execute this, so you can use this clause. So there is one clause like always run is equal to true. It means even dependency is there and your test case has been failed. So at that time it is going to run. So if it is going to run, so it will also run. You can see over here. So your first test case has been failed due to arithmetic error, but your other test case has been executed because this time it is coming as green. If you go to console and you will go to the outputs, you can see this first time it is printed, then after that it's terminated, and after method has called, then test case number 2 has been called, then test case number 3. So this is the order of execution. Fine, guys. So in Testng we have like gone through today. Depends on methods. I'm trying to recall you. Depends on methods, designing of test cases in such a way like before method you have used, after method you have used, before class you have used, after class you have used, and like test at the rate test annotation you have used, at the rate test annotation, this is also same. And today you have gone through like depends on methods, always run, and one clause was like enabled is equal to true or false. So it is for disabling the test case. So this is for disabling the test case. Fine. So if you will disable this now, so your entire test suite will be failed because you saw that I just used that clause, and if I executed, then at time I was getting error. And now I have used put as true. So like I am getting as execution report is coming. Otherwise execution report was not coming. Fine guys. So I think no, one more thing I will have to explain. Let me remove this because as of now I don't need that exception I have removed, and let me run one more time. You can see that it is working fine. So one more advanced concept I am going to give you. See here. This is your Java file in which you have kept your all the test cases. So what you can do, you can design testng.xml. You can design testng.xml. So right click here and come to here testng. Earlier you were using run as testng. Now you have to use right click and go to testng and convert to testng. Fine. Convert to testng. So I am going to design here testng.xml file. What I am going to design here? Testng.xml. So this is like very good concept in testng. So location where it is going to store, basically by default it is going to store in your project root folder. Where it is going to store? It is going to store in your project root folder. Project name is testng demo, and in that folder only you are going to get this file. Name of the suite. So let me give you the concept here. Like you should have this checkbox on because you need to generate testng.xml. This is the name of suite. So suite is like a collection of multiple test classes. Fine. Suite is the collection of multiple test classes. You can say packages. There could be only one suite. There could be only one suite, and in a suite you can design multiple like packages. You can have multiple classes inside a packages, and in a like a class you can have multiple methods, or you can say multiple test cases. Fine. So since I have used here, I have used only one class. Fine. So you can see like this line of a statement. So it is saying that class name is package name dot class name. So com is the name of package. Com you can see like this is my project name, and in project by default structure you will get like this, and com is the name of package. I have designed one package, and package name dot class name. It is taken like that, but you don't need to put dot java, right? So this is the by default structure it will be created if you are using like that. And name of your test. So name of your test is by default taken as test, and name of your suite is by default taken as suite. But you can modify it, no problem. There is no problem in modification. You can design multiple test suits. This is called test, and this is test. So this is related, this line of code is related to this line of code, and this line of code is related to this. So there should only one suit. I repeat, remember those things. There should be only one suit in one testng.xml file, and in one suit you can design multiple tests. You can design multiple tests. So this, because in earlier time people are getting confused. So what is the relation between @test and test? So those two are different things. Don't confuse, guys. Those two are different things. So @test and test are two different things. I repeat, or @test are methods. What are those? @test are methods, and this is the test shoot. This is the test shoot, and one shoot can have multiple test shoot. So this is a very good concept, and like very rarely explained. I have gone through multiple tutorials as well, but like as per my concept, I got this thing, so that's why I'm able to explain you. Fine. So this is nothing related with @test annotation. This is the separate design concept. What you have gone through test annotation. So here it is different. Fine. So this is not related. First, this is not related with @test. This is related with before test. This is related with before test annotation. If you will try to have a look, you can see there was one annotation which is like saying like that before test, after test. So this is directly related with that annotation. Fine. Don't confuse with this @test annotation, because the name is given like that. So people generally used to get confused about this thing. So might be like it's pretty similar. No, @test and test. But this is related with before test and after test. I hope this is clear to you. Now let me go to next part. So these are like by default. These two lines would be by default. Don't need to change that. But in the third line, shoot name you can change. If you will modify here one, so it will automatically come here. So you can modify, no problem. So class, here's class selection is there by default, like classes is there. You can take package if you require, but by default class is there. So as of now I'm leaving parallels and thread counts I'm leaving, and just have a look. So in the shoot you can have one test shoot. This is one test shoot, and which you can have HTML tag, sorry, XML tag. This is called XML tag, and in XML tag you can configure which class you need to execute. So here you can call multiple classes. Say that you want to run this class demo test ng3. You can, so if you want to use this one, just a sec, hold on. So if you want to use this one, this class, so you can also design. First, like have a default, then after later on also you can modify. And these are like closings. So like this is the way you can put the comment. This is the way you can put the comment. So this is the comment, like nothing impact, and these are like opening, so you are closing the tag. Like just click on next. Just click on finish. So what has happened, you can see over here, one testng.xml has been created. Earlier it was not there, but now it is here. Just double click on it. You can see here by default testng.x is by default name. You can change the name, no problem. There is no like harm or nothing impact in changing the name of this file. Just like you are changing the name of other files, you can change the name of testng.xml file. Fine, guys. So earlier what I was doing, I was executing this test classes from here, but now I will close it. This is my main configuration file. This is my main configuration file, and whatever I have designed after my design part has been complete, so this is called configuration file. So in testng.xml you can configure your entire things, and you can simply run it from here. So for running, right click here, run as, right click here, run as testng suite. Earlier it was testng. Just have a look. Earlier it was testng test. Now it is showing you, if you will right click here and try to run as, now it is showing testng shoot. It is saying testng shoot, and if you will click here, so this will call this file, and whatever the code you have written, those will be executed. Say that now you thought, oh, I have executed this. I will configure in one file that it will be calling this file also. So simply you can go through this testng.xml and just hit enter button. After that, just copy and paste it and give the file name in the classes. And your file name is testng3. So order of configuration matters, because first time you are calling testng4, so it will call testng4, and after that it will call testng3. So if you will execute this one, right click, run as shoot, it should call both files. Let me go to the console. It's nothing there. Yeah, it should. It's not called. It should execute, right? Okay, there is comment written here. Let me remove that. So that's why it was not running. Give me some count over this here. Fine. So it has called this one, but due to that comment was there, so it has not been executed. And let me, now you will see when I will execute this testng.xml, it will call both of the files. Right click, run as testng shoot. So you can see here the execution pattern. So whatever you have designed, it has been like run in this fashion. Fine guys. So in similarly you can call multiple classes over here. Simply you can call multiple classes over here. So this is the concept I wanted to give you, because, and after that I can give you the concept of before shoot, after shoot. So before shoot, after shoot, before test, after test, I can give you the concept after this concept. Because without having the concept of testng.xml, you cannot get any idea like what is before shoot, actual real implementation, what is before shoot, what is after shoot, what is before class, how and when, where you will be using these annotations. So you must have the concept of testng.xml. And like testng, since I have already told you testng is a big topic, so it is going to take time. You are simply seeing, I am just using the design pattern to demonstrate you. Fine guys. So I think I should leave for today. Like today is enough. You can go and practice these things and let me know if there is any kind of challenges you are facing. And I will have one more session tomorrow. And since in weekdays I have found that like a lot of people are not joining the session, so that is why like and now in weekdays I am a bit busy, so was not getting time to take classes. But I'll try to make more classes over here. Fine guys. Any questions?
Rajiv.
Hello?